AITA for not wanting to forgive my brother after he lied to CPS? I'm honestly at a loss for words right now, and I feel like I've been living in a haze of anger, confusion, and heartbreak for the past week. There's this weight in my chest that I can't seem to shake. I never thought I'd be in a position where I have to lock my own door against my brother and his wife. But here I am, with my door locked 24/7, just so they can't barge in whenever they feel like it. My brother and I have always had a complicated relationship, but I never imagined it would come to this. To give you some background, he's been clean and sober for a few years now, something I'm genuinely proud of him for. He's married, with 2 boys of his own, and I thought he was happy, settled. He preaches about the sober life as if it's gospel now, which, hey, good for him. But me? I smoke weed. It's legal where I live, and honestly, it's something I do for my own reasons he's never tried to understand. For him, any kind of drug is evil, even if it's weed and it's legal. I have 2 kids, too, a girl and a boy. They're my world. I love them more than I could ever put into words. But lately, my brother has been more than just judgmental about my lifestyle. He's been downright cruel. Over the past few months, he's been making these jokes, saying things like, "You better stop smoking that stuff around your kids, or I'm gonna have to call CPS." At first, I brushed it off. I laughed with him, figuring it was just his way of expressing his disapproval. I mean, I knew he didn't like the fact that I smoked, but I never thought he'd actually do anything about it. Then last Sunday, I found out just how wrong I was. It was early afternoon. The kids were in the living room, playing with their toys, and I was in the kitchen, cleaning up after breakfast when my phone rang. I looked at the caller ID and saw a number I didn't recognize. I hesitated for a second, but picked it up anyway. "Hello, is this my name?" The voice on the other end was calm, professional. "Yes, this is she. Who's calling?" "This is social worker's name, a caseworker from Child Protective Services. I've been assigned a report about your home and would like to come by to assess the situation and speak to your children." My stomach dropped. What was happening? CPS? A report? My mind raced, trying to make sense of it all. The caseworker started listing off a series of complaints, each one more baffling than the last. Allegations about my parenting, claims that my home was unsafe, that I was neglecting my kids. I was in complete shock. By the time he finished, I couldn't even find the words to respond. "This has to be a mistake," I finally managed to stammer. "We'll know soon enough," the caseworker replied. "I'm on my way to your house." I hung up the phone, my hands shaking. I didn't understand. There was nothing wrong with my home, with my kids. I knew that. My kids were healthy, happy, and well cared for. But now, I had to prove it to a stranger. I called my mom and my sister, my voice barely above a whisper as I explained what had just happened. I was in the middle of telling them when my brother and his wife walked into my house, uninvited, like they always do. I looked at them, still reeling from the phone call, and I couldn't stop myself. "Did you call CPS on me?" The words felt foreign on my tongue, like I couldn't believe I was even asking the question. But the moment I saw his face, saw the way he shrugged his shoulders, his expression cold and indifferent, I knew. He didn't even try to deny it. "Yeah, I did," he said, as if he hadn't just turned my world upside down. I snapped. I can't even remember what I said, but I know I was screaming at him, telling him to get out, that I never wanted to see him again. He and his wife left without another word, and I collapsed in a heap, sobbing in a room away from my kids. The betrayal felt like a knife in my heart. For the next 4 days, I barely slept. The CPS caseworker came by, talked to my eldest daughter, who was so confused by his questions that she didn't even know how to respond. I could see the pity in his eyes as he walked through our house, checking everything, but I didn't care about his pity. I just wanted this nightmare to be over. Thankfully, after a thorough inspection, the caseworker told me that there was absolutely no reason for CPS to be involved. He said the case would be closed, and that there was nothing in my home or about my parenting that warranted concern. But the damage had already been done. I couldn't stop replaying that moment in my head. The way my brother had so casually admitted to trying to ruin my life. Now my brother and his wife are blowing up my phone, trying to guilt me into forgiving them. They keep saying things like, "We were just trying to do what was best for the kids, and we love you, we just don't agree with your choices." But all I feel when I think about them is rage. I don't care about their excuses. They didn't just make a bad decision. They put my children's safety on the line. They jeopardized everything I've worked so hard for as a mother, all because they didn't like that I smoked a bit of weed in my own home. I haven't responded to their messages. I don't think I ever will. As far as I'm concerned, my brother is dead to me. He crossed a line that can't be uncrossed, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive him for that. But now I'm wondering, am I the asshole for cutting him off? Should I be willing to forgive him for the sake of family? Or am I right to stand my ground and protect my peace? Update. I just want to thank everyone who's reached out with support and reassurance. Your words have helped strengthen my resolve. The hardest part of all of this is the history my brother and I share. We both went through the foster care system as kids. We were adopted by a man who was nothing short of a monster. You'd think that after everything we went through, we'd be more protective of each other, more understanding. But I guess I was wrong about that too. I'm moving forward with my decision. I'm cutting him off completely. He may be my brother by blood, but that doesn't mean he's entitled to a place in my life after what he did. I'll always protect my kids, no matter what. Thank you again for giving me the strength to do what I know in my heart is right.